Hi friends, my name is Anirudh Reddy Kampala. I'm here to say about my contribution in my project. My project name is Nexo Health Insurance. Uh, this is a project for Nexo Education and Migration Consultants which aim to connect registered users like agents and students to the Australian health insurance providers. And the main aim of the project is to make a web portal where the linking the like students and agents are linked with the health insurance providers in Australia for overseas student health cover. And I in this we had like five things. We made into five things. Like one is sprint. First one is a storyboard. Next is roadmap. Roadmap is a path, the way we follow the things. And next thing was the sprints and last presentation and write up. In roadmap, we made the things into partial things, like we made into user stories for the presenting a web portal. In storyboard we worked more on the web. I worked more on the documentation in documentation side, and researched for the user stories with the help of my team members and also good listener. In after completing the roadmap, I worked in sprint 1 documentation and user stories, which sprint 1 was started in 15th August 2021 and end date was 29th August 2021. I worked for the sign up page for students in the web portal and developed a page for agent login and logout. In this sprint, I did because we are new to the we are from enterprise system. We had no lack of knowledge of we have lack of knowledge. I have lack knowledge on website, like creating website and programming. So we used a website, WordPress for that. For this making the decision of WordPress, we took long time first researching everything from WordPress. After selecting the WordPress, we went into the research in Google, YouTube, how to use the WordPress. And in sprint 1 I worked on the three uh, user stories. In sprint 2, which was started in 30th of August 30th of August and 229 19 September 2021 was the end date. In this sprint, I worked on development a page for admin to see insurance, and admin to see the insurance booked by users, and you can also check the status of insurance bookings. In this sprint, it was like my in this sprint I was working partially on the user stories and working more on the documentation of sprint 1 and sprint 2, because after sprint 2 like we have to work on the write up, which is the big one, and presentation. We were working on that with the help of my colleagues, like my team members, and documented and researched for the data which I should keep on, which I should which we should keep on the web portal, like about and some things I will show in my evidence. And in sprint 3, the start date was 28th September to 10th of October. In this, I worked on the three user stories of guest users. One is the guest user can see the website. Guest user can see the website with some limitations, and guest user can see the insurance details of the companies, and he can book the guest user can book the insurance without logging into the website. In sprint 3, after completing sprint 3, in sprint 1 I did some mistakes because of not knowing good on the WordPress and combining two things in the making into the bringing the things into web page. So yeah, I learned from there, from using YouTube and with the help of the good listener and our client. I learned the things, and I spent it in the sprint 2. In sprint 2 I did some new mistakes, which because it was a new learning thing for me. In sprint 2 I was learning new things, and I got some technical and issues with the working on that. I missed all my data in that doing that. And after in sprint 2 I was offered for the documentation. From sprint 2 I was fully working on the documentation. I was in sprint 2, I sprint 2 document and write up and uh, write up and the presentation documents. I was documenting them and the data on the website, and giving the written data on the website which we can place on the website about giving the knowledge of the website. And in sprint 3, after completing sprint 3, I learned some mistakes which I did from sprint 2 and applied in that. And I did new mistakes in sprint 2 in making the, because the new thing we came as like guest user which was not there in the stakeholders. So for new thing we already given the user story, so I was working on that with the help of my uh, team member who was fully working on the development of that. I helped him and assisted in that in by assisted him in sprint 3. After completing sprint 3, this was my contribution in the documentation and working partially in the sprints, partially in the web page was my that was my contribution. And after completing all this, as I completed my master project, I can say three things I learned from this master project is presenting myself, which was absolutely I learned from our tutor Godley sir, who teached us very like professional, being professional thing. I still remember I was attending the class in the first class. Sir said be adequate. Still remember that, and that was the personal in presenting thing. In second one, problem solving, problem solving thing. Like I already said you that in sprint 2 I was like personal issues mean that I lost all my data which I worked. I can't able to show that to our tutor in the stand up. But sir was understand my problem, and he said that you work on the documentation so that you can work on the documentation and you can help the team member. That was the main thing, like when problem came, try to solve it. And when you're trying to solve the problem, everybody will help you in the solving the problem. That's what I learned from this. And all my team members are working together. All my team members help me a lot, and I help them when they need me. And I helped one of my team member who was working on the web page. And and the final thing I want to say that is, after from in this project 13 weeks, I can say that I can say that I am some professional. I learned some professionalities. I like to present myself and be until doing this thing, the project, I understood the power of teamwork. Working together gives a huge work. We can complete a huge work. In 13 weeks, we created a web portal, and documentation is not a small thing, but we can do a good things. I still realize that what my plan was doing in some way, it happens in some way, but it in some parts it's like it enhanced in good way. But in some parts, because I can't able to show my things, it I did some mistakes in that. So because it's learning, it's everything is learning, and learning in part of life. I'm learning till now, but this master project I learned a lot in this master project with the help of Godley sir and team members and my supervisors, everything. Thank you. This is the storyboard documentation which I worked on. Documentations of storyboards, product roadmap, sprints, and final documents. It should be edited more. And this is the presentation. The first I'll show the some glimpse of the storyboard. And this is the storyboard. This is my things, like my client, my group members, client details, and outline of the project. And these are the first user stories we used in storyboard. And these are some of the, like, this documentation is done by me. And constraints and assumptions, and these all like. And this is the presentation. This is a presentation from slide 1 presentation. The background, problem statement, aim of the project, client requirements, non-functional requirements, and these technical tools, literature review, literature reviews and sprint details and sprint user stories and some of the evidences. And this is a sprint 2 and some of the evidences of the user stories and the testing and the user stories testing of the user stories and tasks. And next I want to show you the final document, like not a, it's on the editing version, acknowledgement, user stories, abstract, and reviews and everything, that like it is this main first page of that. And table of contents, introduction, nexo, scope, and all this documentation is done by me. You can like 10,000 words all done by me and with the help of my colleagues and with the references. I done all these things, reference documents, I use them and user stories and worked on these. Now I want to show you about my work on the website. So its page works on the website which is like this is the dashboard of the website, this sandbox one, and data modeling, all this we worked on the like further things for making a website. This is a home page of the website. You can see these things. This is the website, this is the references. The written part was done by me with to help my colleague team member working on this. And the color tone was done by me with the help of our Godly sir. And this account I can show you the password for that. Login for admin because I was working on some part of admin. User story group 6 is it's already fed in my thing. Group 6 and the password is 7415. Login, and this is the login page for that. And you can view all the users, who logged in. And you can also check the add new you can add the new users from here. And from if you go to the dashboard, this is the dashboard as I came. This is all the view which I've edited from the group and taking some references. And the this is the website. You can go to the main website homepage and contact details, which I was helping my friend for these things, giving an idea for these mapping and everything. And about this documentation, like all our story of searching about them and doing keeping the things on that. And some made our team like it's just same photos, like just keeping the names. And this is the thing which I help my colleagues, like my team members, and documentation and this keeping the providing them the topic of this is just some words copied from somewhere else. And